Carissa Pavlika, TV Fanatic. So how are you doing, Dana?
Oh, I'm doing just about as well as I could be. Let me tell you, I feel so grateful to just be able to still do the job I love to do after the year we have all had. And it just makes me feel really lucky that I chose a job that I love and that it's been something I've been able to continue to do during a time when a lot of people haven't been as lucky. So I'm trying to share the love with other people in any way that I can. And it's been a crazy time. How's it been for you?
It's been great, and I got to tell you, second season is really stellar. I
Oh,
really
great. I'm
enjoyed it.
so happy you liked it. Oh, that makes me so relieved. It's so funny. It's like today's the first day that anybody has been talking about. I'm like, oh my God, so what do you think? Like, I'm just such a nerd. I still just love the show so much. And I just want to know that it's bringing people joy. That's all I care about. So I'm like, did you like it? What'd you think?
I think that the first season segues perfectly into the second, and I love that there's a whole brand new mystery that Hildy's chasing down at the same time where she's still very invested in Richie's fate. And I'm wondering, how long did it take you to get that storyline as seamless as it is?
Oh, thank you, my friend. It was very hard. I think that it's very rare that I feel very dug in about something. And I was really dug in about a few things, which is that I know for myself watching things, when I fall in love with something, especially a great mystery, um, I don't love when I come back for the second season of a show and everything I loved and cared about has just been like thrown aside and they've completely started a new thing because they're taking a risk with me that what if I don't like the new thing, as much as I liked the old thing? So I was really sure that I wanted our second season to deliver on the promise of the cliffhanger of the first season in a way that I thought was really surprising and you kind of just don't fully see it coming and you kind of don't know where the story is going, but also open the show up and show you that the show can have these bigger mysteries, that Hildy is now realizing, wait, Richie Fife is not the only secret in Erie Harbor. Like, everybody has secrets. This town is full of cover-ups. This town has all sorts of people who have reasons to lie about things. And so it was a very difficult balance. But I was surrounded by other brilliant writers, thank God, who were really good at breaking the story. And the things that I knew that I wanted in the places that I wanted them remain in this final season, in season two. And it was just exciting to see it come together. And because we're on this incredible streaming platform with Apple and that they're such good partners, I was able to, when we got a little deeper and we had sort of seen deeper into the mystery, and I realized, like, ooh, what'd be amazing is if I could plant this little like weird Easter egg back at one of the earlier episodes, and then you can actually do that because you haven't released the show yet. So I would go back and just like put these little Easter eggs and nuggets into the early episodes so that by the end you feel like, wow, that all came together in a really cool way.
The other thing that comes together really well is how the mysteries are pretty much helping Hildy grow up. They're helping her form into a mature young woman. What's your process of determining, a mystery versus a coming of age tale, and how do you blend them?
Krista, that's the smartest question. Thank you so much for really seeing us and seeing our show. I can tell that you really do. It's for us, I think what we discovered in season one was that we don't care about the mystery unless Hildy deeply cares about the mystery. She's our access character. She's the access character for adults watching the show. Adults say, oh, I'm like Hildy. So it's important that she really deeply cares about the mystery. So that was always something that we kept saying over and over and over again. It can't just be plot points. It can't just be breadcrumbs that lead me to the next breadcrumb. Also, because there's 80 billion shows on television and in the world that are like that, where it's just like plotty plot, 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 plot. Where we, I think, are sort of different is that everything, it's an emotional mystery, that every plot point we try to say, well, who's going to care about this and why? So we kind of know that we're overall very interested in watching Hildy grow up, and we don't want to keep her a little kid. It doesn't feel authentic. Brooklyn is so extraordinary, and you want her to be able to really shine in the show. And so we wanted to let the show grow with her. I mean, it was interesting when we shut down for the quarantine. it was like she grew up for 6 months and came back, and there were lines that we had written for her before that didn't fit in her mouth after, because she had grown up just enough for the lines to sound too young for her, and we just had to tweak them going along because we always want the show to mature with her. um, One of the fundamental tenets of this show was always that, to be a young girl growing up, I'm sure you remember, Carissa, it's sort of like a horror show. Just trying to get through like sixth grade was like horrible for me, at least, and it is like a horror movie. Just being a girl in the world sometimes. So we wanted always for the plot to dovetail with Hildy's emotional development. And it was always really important to us. Like, what does this plot point do to her and dad, like, or her and her sister, or her and her mother? How does it affect her relationships and how she views herself? So yeah, we were always asking those questions at every turn.
I love that you said that because there's a specific episode that I think is quite frightening. Um, Whenever they're running through a forest, and
Oh
for like
yeah.
it takes on a lot of different connotations, and it also impacts both her family, her friends, her relationships with all of those people as this kind of horrific scene is taking place. It,
Yeah.
that's always the purpose then, is to connect them in that way.
Yeah, I think so. And for me, I grew up in a house with my mom and dad really treated me kind of not like an adult. Like they didn't like say things to me that you would say to only adults, but they respected me and they kind of said things to me that I think my friends were like, "Wait, you're 10 years old and your mom told you a story about how she almost got mugged in a parking lot." Like, what are you talking about? That's so scary. And I was like, "Oh, no, that's not scary to me, that's empowering to me." I felt like, what was scary was when people were constantly telling me that everything was okay all the time, and it didn't give me an opportunity to get scared and then realize that I was okay. And what really made me feel brave was getting scared and then seeing that everything is actually going to be okay in the end, especially if you have your family and your relationships and your friends. So that's something I always want to do with the show, is just kind of say, like, look, kids in their real lives, they're looking at the news. Like, they see what's going on in our world. And there's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of scary stuff out there. And to say that everything is fine is not to acknowledge their actual experience of the world. When in America you're asking kids to climb under their desk for active shooter drills, but you think they can't handle a scary plot point in a TV show, it's like you got to kind of say, well, maybe these kids actually want to see something that's a little bit more reflective of what their world feels like. And I remember as a kid feeling like smaller things felt really big to me. I remember things that were smaller in my family felt incredibly emotional and dramatic to me because this was the first time I was ever experiencing it. So that's another thing we love to do in the show, is try to stay in Hildy's perspective as much as we can, because then the show can always feel like it has drama, because to her it's dramatic.
And what is the one thing that you're most excited for people to see in this second season? What do you hope they
I
take
mean,
away?
that's a hard one. Carissa, it's whatever you think it is. No, I think that for me, I'm excited for everyone to see our extraordinary cast and how good they were in season one. I sort of was like, how can they be better than that? And they all are. They're all better in season two, which is just extraordinary to me, especially the younger people in the show. Just that they were able to grow up so much. I mean, the adult actors are incredible and also grew. So that's been really, really delightful for me. And I'm really excited for people to see that, but also just that we have another incredibly bingy mystery that anybody can enjoy regardless of what age you are. I think I've been delighted by how many adults, have said, "Oh, I thought this show, I didn't understand. I didn't realize the show was for me." And I'm like, it's for everybody. So it's been really satisfying to see people respond to it that way.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, and good luck on the launch.
Carissa, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good to
Bye
see you.
bye.
Bye.